Hello, my dear students. So, today we are going to see one new poem. The name of the poem is The Elf Singing. The poem is written by the poet William Ellingham. Now, what is the meaning of elf? Elf means an imaginary small person with pointed ears who has magical powers. So you have seen cartoons. In the cartoons there are small people. They all are called as elf. So in this poem we are going to see that what the elf is going to do to save his life. An elf sat on a thin branch. He was quite small. Now can you see the elf is sitting on a branch of a tree. The branch is very thin and the elf is very small. He sang a little song, not thinking that it was wrong. Now this elf was singing a little song, but he was not knowing that he was singing the wrong song. But he was in a place that belonged to a wizard. Now, the elf where he was sitting, it was the place of the dangerous wizard. This wizard hated all sweet sounds. So now can you see the wizard in the picture? He has the magical powers. He is the dangerous person. And this wizard, he did not like sweet songs. He hated the sweet sound. And now he has become very angry on hearing the sounds. The poet tells the elf to take care of himself because the wizard was coming behind him to catch him and tie him up and stop his singing. Now the poet is telling the elf that elf, stop singing the song and look behind you, that the wizard is just running behind you to catch you and finish you off so that you can stop your singing. So take care of yourself and run from the dangerous wizard. The poet warns the elf that the wizard is changing his shape. Now the poet William, he is telling the elf that elf, be aware, because now the wizard is changing his shapes. He is going to come in front of you in different shapes so that you will get confused and get caught up in the wizard's plan. So be aware. First, the wizard turns into a crawling, ugly old ape. Now first, the wizard has turned into an old ape. Can you see here the old ape? This animal is called as old ape and he is crawling behind the elf. And then into a poisonous lizard. Now first, the wizard has become a ugly old ape. After the old ape, he has turned into a poisonous lizard. Can you see here poisonous lizard? And the poisonous lizard is going behind the elf to catch him. Later, the wizard takes the shape of a spotted spider. Now can you see here all the spots are there on the spider? Now who is this spider? The spider is the wizard. The spider has changed the shape into the wizard and now he is going to catch the elf. And then a flying worm After spider, the wizard had turned into a flying worm. Can you see a green little worm beside the elf? Who is that worm? The worm is the dangerous wizard who want to catch the elf. The poet tells the elf that the wizard is up on the branch of a tree and he will bite through his stomach. Now the poet is telling the elf that see, the wizard is sitting up on the branch of a tree and he is going to bite your stomach. The worm is who? The worm is the wizard. And the poet is telling the elf that take care of yourself because the worm is going to eat you up from the stomach. The wizard is quite close to the elf now. Now, can you see here in the picture? The worm means the wizard is right beside the elf. Now, the elf and the wizard both are very close to each other. However, the elf went on his song. Now the elf is not afraid, even though the worm is going to eat him and he is near the elf. He is not bothered at all. He is still singing his song. His song grew clearer and stronger. Now the elf is singing very loudly, very clearly, and his voice is now very, very stronger. The elf was singing so loudly and so strongly that he was lifted into the air. Can you see? The elf is now flying in the air. He was floated in the air, singing away with rainbows in his hair. Can you see his hair has changed its colors from black to the 7 colors of rainbow. Now the elf is flying in the air and singing away happily, and his hairs are looking like the 7 colors of rainbow. Meanwhile, the wizard made a sudden leap from the place where he was creeping. Now, the wizard, who has taken the shape of worm, is now taking a leap. Leap means he is going to take a jump. And he is creeping. Can you see how he is creeping? He fell into a hole, and before he could say his magic word, he was eaten up by a mole. Now, when the wizard was just going to change his shape and become a wizard again, he was just going to say his magic word and turn again into a wizard. But before that, he was eaten by a mole. Can you see? There is a black color mole and he is eating the worm. And in this way, the elf flied away singing happily and the wizard was eaten by a mole. Can you see this mole? He is the animal which is found only inside the soil. So he has eaten up the worm. Who was the worm? The wizard was the worm. In this way we have learned the poem The Elf Singing. So we will meet in the next class with a new topic. Thank you.